Hi, this is Mark from SMPostcards again with another video on reselling postcards on eBay, Etsy, and Hip Postcards. Today we're going to go over what sold. I sold 23 cards overnight. I sold 12 on eBay, 10 on Etsy, and 1 on Hip. So 23 cards we'll go through, and throughout the video I'll break it up with some other things, like I have a special topic, postcard decals. You've probably seen that from other videos what I sold, so I thought I would do a special topic on those because I'm actively looking for those at estate sales or antique malls or auctions, eBay, whatever, because I'm ran out. I have maybe a dozen of them and they all sold within a couple months. Not big dollars, but you'll see. Next thing is I have a term, airbrush, just to talk a little bit about how they do the linens and what the airbrush process is. And then I have a bonus item today. It wasn't really enough to do a special topic, but stock line cards, what are they? And kind of neat for your collection. And then I'll go over some viewer comments, which gives insights on how I do things, and people said they really like those, so I've been keeping those up. I get those viewer comments from the video comments, emails, just general questions. So I think it's a benefit to everybody and to myself to reinforce what I'm doing. I added a new section this time in this video because there's a lot of, what do you want to call, news, current events going on. Now a lot of these videos are, you know, recorded maybe a week ahead of time, sometimes two. Gives me a little bit of time to edit while I'm listing all these boats and postcards. So it might be a little dated, but I tried to make sure it wasn't just today's news. So the first thing is, last week when I did the video, I went in, I'm always clicking on crap in eBay or whatever and trying new things. And when I go to schedule a video on YouTube, it gives me the date and time, and I noticed it said premiere. And I've seen some people use that. I didn't really look it up. I just made this one a premiere, and I figured, okay, it'll go off. So I was in my office doing something, and I said, hey, it's almost 5 o'clock. Let me bring that up and see what it does. Well, there was a little countdown on the video at 5 o'clock for it to go off. And I'm sitting there watching, well, that's pretty cool. It just started doing. Then all of a sudden, I get a ding, and there's someone in chat. Oh my God, I gotta answer this question. This thing is like, a premiere is like a live chat, but you don't see me, you just watch the video. So that was pretty cool. The neat thing was, that was the best video in 24 hours time frame that I've ever had. So, but I had about 9 people on there. So that was a nice surprise. But premiere, I'll do those here and there, and I'll probably make it a premiere like on Monday, when I know my schedule for the week, if I'm going to be able to be there at 5 o'clock. So, but watch for those premieres. That was kind of a surprise when that chat came in. The next thing is eBay standard envelope. I just got an email and a lot of messages from people. They're raising their price on eBay standard envelope by 2 cents. So your 1 ounce, 51 cents is going to 53, 2 ounce from 71 to 73, and your 3 ounce from 91 to 93. So basically on every 100 cards, it's $2. To me, that's couch money. And what I mean by couch money, I can dig in my couch and find $2. Am I going to make changes for that? No. Actually, it's a nice surprise. I thought they were going to go a little higher. And I don't think it's a bad thing because the post office is raising the rates, so it's got to be passed on to the customer. Now, if they were raised at 10 cents, 15 cents, then I might, raise my cards and nickel or something, and just to pass. Stuff like that needs to be passed on to the consumer, the buyer, if you cannot absorb it. But the way I do things, I can absorb 2 cents on there. So it's not a big deal to me. I kind of expected it, but it was lower than I thought. The next thing that's hitting the postcard and the sports card world is the 6.5 and 4.5 envelopes. The best envelope. If you haven't seen that video that I did about the best envelope, these are 6.5, 4.5 EchoSwift photo mailers, and you can put about 4 cards in here with sleeve, 2 mil sleeves for 1 ounce, and they work perfectly for continental and standard cards. But in that video I go over a lot of how they grade envelopes, so you want to go check our channel for that. I think it's called the best and worst envelopes. But these have doubled in price again. So they caught me the first time. I had to pay to get them, but I ended up going out and buying a lot because I kind of expected it would go up again, and it did. So for 1,000 postcards, say we were spending $150, now it's $300. So you want to be, be conservative with these. It'll once they get their containers back in and stuff, and things go down, the price should go down. But I have that on my watch list on eBay, and also I look on different places. But those that can raise your cost. Will I go out and raise my price if I have to buy a case to the consumer, to the buyer? Not yet. I'm gonna wait next year and see if it settles down. If it doesn't, I might have to do a small increase just to, offset the cost of the envelopes and keep the margin I have. Next thing is the 2mm sleeves and the top loaders. These little sleeves here are also very hard to get. There is some places that you find and you can get some. The top loaders, I don't know really what's causing that. I heard it was the craze of the sports cards and the other cards and stuff have really that, and also that they changed their manufacturing process more for what's going on in the world than these. So I think my wholesaler said they'll be back in by December now, but you might have to start paying up for those, and they might be harder to get. Also, announcement, September 23rd, I'm going to be a guest on the Pittsburgh Picker channel. I think he goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, but I'll keep reminding that I'll be a guest on there, and you can check that out. Adam's a pretty cool guy. So let's go ahead and get into the what sold real quick. Then I'll do the other things like normal through the videos. So 23 cards, 12 on eBay. First card that sold was Hummerock and Fourth Cliff, 628, Massachusetts. So that's a Hummerock. The area of this was cut off from the rest of the town when the storm of 1898 formed a new mouth of the North River. Okay, Hummerock. And let me see if I can get that in there. That's what the name of it is. I can't say it. But it's an air view of a town. And I made sure in the title that I put exactly what it said on the back there. And this sold within 24 hours. I just listed this yesterday. And it sold for $4 to $5. Next one, Fort Mitchell Mackinac. So that's in Mackinac City. It's a fort. Mackinac City always does well. This has, if you can see that across the top here, a scalloped edge, they call it. When they cut the card, it wasn't a straight edge, it's like a scalloped edge. You can put that in your listings. I don't know if it really will help sell it, but it's a decorative card. Chrome card sold between $4 and $5. Next one, true and tried favorite. They always sell. University of Buffalo. Universities, colleges, make sure you get that in the title. They will sell. This is not a white border card. It's a chrome card, as you can see it glisten, even though it has the white border on it. It's a newer card, and it's got like a mosaic in here with a banner, and unposted chrome card sold between $4 and $5. Next one is a linen card. Sunset on the Rio Grande River in Texas. Right there. The term today, airbrush. I'm going to talk about a little bit about the airbrushing technique that they use on there. But that's a nice card. The yellow on there is not aging. That's just the way they colored it. Now this one did get through. It does have a little bit of album marks and glue on there. Normally I would not post these, but I think because of the color of this, I knew it would sell. That's why I went ahead and did that, but that was disclosed in the pictures in there. And most people look at the front, not the back of the card. Sold between $4 and $5. This one's a choo-choo. 1865 Railroad, Turtleback Zoo, West Orange, New Jersey. Oh, it goes this way. That's a vertical card, unofficial term. But that's just a choo-choo. Any kind of trains, I do very well with trains. So that's what it is. Chrome card, $4 to $5. Next one, the Daniel Boone Hotel Night Scene in Boone, North Carolina. It's a linen card. It's got some nice colors on it. Another example of airbrushing in there. There's the green and the red, and there's that blue that I look for in the thing, and I can feel that it's a linen. It's got the red count in there. Unposted, really good looking, solid linen card. and that's sold between $4 and $5. Next one is Mississippi River Bridge, Dyersburg, Tennessee, down by Cairo, Illinois. I'm about 55 miles straight south of Chicago, downtown Chicago. And Cairo is about 4.5, 5 hours all the way at the south end of Illinois. And it says that the bridge right there, but that's the bridge. Bridges do well if you put them into titles, and people are looking for the older bridges. Especially when they're going to start rebuilding some of the bridges, you might get a little influx on some of those. Chrome card, $4 to $5. Got a tunnel. This is the Eisenhower Memorial Tunnel, colorful Colorado. Kind of looks like that mountain where they have all the Air Force stuff in. But that's a tunnel. Tunnels do well. Make sure you get it in the titles. This is a posted card. It was posted in 1975. 8-cent stamp with Eisenhower on it. So that's the Eisenhower Tunnel. There's a car going through there. Nice card. $4 to $5. Now let me go through this last one here on eBay, and then I'll get into the special topic of decals. Postcard decals. So this is some of the naval boats. If you've seen the video that I purchased those 20, 30,000 naval boat lot, this gentleman bought 4 of the same boat, and that's what I'm looking for with this lot, since I have a lot of one card, a lot of quantity of individual cards, not a lot of listings, just a lot of quantity. So he bought 4 USS Ralph Talbot DD-390, and everyone has a little name up there, so it's real easy to list and a description of when they're commissioned. But that's the boat right there, and I'm not for sure if that's a battle. It looks like a battleship or something. But it's a black and white. It has a little curving on it, but not too bad. But he bought 4 of these on there, and I've had a few of those boats where I've had volume discounts in quantity, where people bought 1 to 4 cards of the same boat and they send it to their friends. Those will all go in one envelope for 1 ounce with the eBay standard envelope for right now 51 cents, but it'll go up to 53 cents. So, and those sold between $4 and $5. Let me get into the special topic. Postcard decals. What am I talking about? So let me put it right down here. I'll give you, it's a pretty straightforward definition. Postcard decals. Decals which can be mailed in the backing that looks, and has a backing that looks like a postcard backing. What? Let me show you. So I got 2 of these that I picked up. This is the first one. Just an American flag. It's one of those transparent decals that you put on your car window, your trailer, or whatever. It peels off. And this is what the back looks like. It looks like a postcard. There's a stamp, you put the address, you put the message. And these were very popular. So that's what a postcard decal is. You'll find them in lots, you'll find them in different places at state sales. And this next one here is probably the ones that sell the most for me. And this isn't a real vintage one. Just by the look of it, there's no dates on here. But just the way it looks at it, it's probably 60s, maybe 70s. This is the Art Institute in Chicago, and there's the Lions. So they would go these and peel them off, and they would put them on their trailers. So those are postcard decals. Little information about those. In the post world, golden age of travel, just like there's a golden age of postcard, the golden age of travel, most folks couldn't afford an airplane ticket. I know we never flew on an airplane. My mom and dad would never pay for us to go on an airplane when we could drive. And instead, they traveled by car. And sometimes they usually had a trailer attached. I remember that. We would go camping or stuff like that, and the trailer was just loaded with these decals. I mean, the car, the back bumpers, you just found them. They would stop at many different roadside attractions and service stops. Here they would pick up a decal and put it on their trailer to say I was here and stuff. I remember we had so many decals on ours, it was kind of like rain resistant, waterproofing the trailer. They would also pick up a postcard decal to mail to friends. So they wanted to, say, hey, I'm over here, I'm going to put one on the trailer, here's one for yours, and just tell people they're doing fine. They didn't have smartphones back then, so hopefully this made it to the people before they got back home. The prices on these, I've sold most of them. I think I priced the average price about $6.95. So they are higher than a postcard if they are the vintage ones. Now, this one would probably be, I would probably list this about $6.95 because it's got the lion and a nice presentation. This one is a pretty standard one. This would probably go maybe $5.95, $4.95. So they are maybe $1 more than the postcards you get, but if I get a real cool one or a state one, I might even go up higher. But the average prices when I looked around on the sites, eBay and the other places, range between $5 and $20. Mostly on the lower end is what they're selling for. But special destinations can demand more money. So if you get one you think it's special, list it high, put some best offer on there, and see what you get. If you don't get something in 90 days, lower it down to the normal thing. Postcard decals. Who knew? I got a bonus thing here today. It's called stock line cards. Have you ever been to an auction? If you sell primitives, antiques and stuff along with postcards, and you've probably been to auctions or antique malls, and you've seen these little bitty waffle machines or little bitty representations of something that's bigger. They call them salesman samples. They're pretty popular. A lot of people collect those. So I think we have a waffle machine that the salesman would come into the hardware store or whatever, a department store, and say this is what we have. So it's a scaled down model of their big thing. Well, they also did that. Salesmen would go around before the internet and sell postcards to places, and they would have stock line cards. This is a sheet of postcards that I would walk, if I was a salesman of postcards, I would walk into your shop and say, hey, I'm selling comic postcards, and these are the one page of the ones I got. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which ones would you like? And they would go through the book and they would pick on it. Now down in the bottom here, that's the number. So the salesman would write in his sales order, okay, I want 10 of these, I want a pack of those, I want a pack of these, I want 20 of these, and he would write the number down, and these are uncut postcards. So he would have a book or samples of these, and they would sit down and do that. But these are called stock line cards. This one's 1966 comics. Right up there, and you can see the company name, and this is what it is. On the back, it is taped up with the plastic, but you can see that it is the actual postcard with the, it says postcard, and it's got a stamp box. But salesmen would go around and sell these. So if you see these and they're uncut, I'd pick them up for your collection. They're pretty cool to have. So this is the only one I have, and it's really nice, and it's in plastic. It came really nicely shipped. I remember getting this one. But stockline postcards, who knew? That was the bonus for today. Didn't really have enough for a special topic, but I thought I would share that with you, that those you want to be on the lookout if you're ever seeing uncut postcards. That's basically probably what that is, salesman sample. Let me go ahead and get into finish up eBay here, do a few on Etsy on what's sold. And remember, when I'm going through the what's sold, you want to look at the variety. You want to get to the point with reselling, no matter what you sell, when you walk into a place, garage sale, antique mall, flea market, estate sale, whatever, you're comfortable when you're looking for your main stuff, your niche, or whatever they call it. So when I go into a store with my wife, she takes off and looks at the signs and stuff like the antiques. I'm off to the postcards and toys. I feel comfortable. So if you want to know what you're really good at, just think to yourself, what do I go gravitate to first when I go to these sales? Some people go to the games, the video games. Some people electronics. Some people go toward the dishes, the Pyrex and stuff. If that's what you do and you feel comfortable, do it well, and on the side, maybe try to build up a postcard sales. Maybe build up video games or whatever. But by watching these what's sold should get you to a point where you're comfortable, where you're going after the Pyrex, but you got your eye on postcards because you feel comfortable there too, and you want to build that up. So the next card that sold on eBay was Hotel Warren in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is a white border card. if you notice, it doesn't shine like a chrome card, and I can just feel it's a heavier stock, it's a vintage card just by feeling it. If you gave me this card, my eyes were there and I held it, I could feel that it's basically vintage. I would be probably 70-30% correct. Not an expert, but I just, when you feel enough of them, you know. But that's the Hotel, unposted, nice solid card, really good. Does have the flea market or the antique mall price on there. I do not take those off. I just leave them on there as part of the card. If someone wants to erase that, they can, but I just leave them on there, never had an issue. But that's the Hotel worn, $4 to $5. The next one is another Hotel, I believe, and this is a white border card, the Langren, Asheville, North Carolina. This is a nice looking vertical white border card. Look at those cards on there. Nice hotel card, 2-cent stamp. Doesn't say when it was postmarked. It's not clear with the cancel, but some nice handwriting on there. Look at that handwriting. That's really nice handwriting. $4 to $5. Another Hotel. Now I got a nice little ox card if you want to buy one. So this is a postcard. A lot of people probably wouldn't post this card. I remember posting this. It's the old ox card, 100 years old, in the patio of Kit Carson's museum in Taos, New Mexico. Let's see if I can get in. There's the ox card. It's just basically deteriorating in the sun and everything by the, Pueblo or whatever it is. But that's just an old ox card. Someone liked this card, and it's a chrome card, unposted. It's got a little wear on the edge there, but that's to be considered with vintage postcards. And I didn't disclose that as part of my disclaimer, but an old ox card. I'm going to add it to my list. A bush, a rock, a totem pole, a spider, an old ox card. $4 to $5. Let me do a couple cards here on Etsy. I had a bigger order on Etsy that I'll get into after I do a couple more things. So the next one on Etsy is, I've sold this card before in different versions. Surrender scene of the courthouse with General Lee and stuff and Grant, where they're sitting down at the table in the house. This is not a white border card. This is a chrome card. It's really a newer card. But that's from a National Museum, but that's General Grant and General Lee sitting down at the table. Unposted. Really good card stock on this one. Sold on Etsy, $4 to $5. Now remember, on my last videos, I haven't been really listing on Etsy this month, and I'm continuing my thing. I think I've listed maybe 20-30 cards in this month, and I'm selling like crazy on Etsy. So listing every day, will I hurt my sales if I don't? So I'm going to continue that until the end of the month, and then I'll get back on my routine. But I've been doing really well on Etsy this month, considering that I'm doing this little test. The next card I sold on Etsy is Washington Avenue, looking south on Golden, Colorado. It's just road. It's a road. But there might be some houses and cars that people like. It's got the rounded corners. Unposted postcard. Down in the back here it says, Welcome to Golden. There's an arch right back there. See if I can get off the thing. Right back there on the road. There's an arch. So it's a nice downtown. Someone probably lives there. Probably picked it up. I put it in a search, Washington Avenue, Golden, Colorado. Someone might have had a saved search or typed in Golden, Colorado, and this popped up. Sold. If you just put a road, or some people might not even list that. $4 to $5. So I also wanted to talk a little bit today about looking. I get a lot of questions, and I send people to our video descriptions. So in anything on YouTube, when you watch a video on YouTube, you want to look at the comments, and you want to look at what the creator put in the descriptions. There's a lot of good stuff in there sometimes that takes you down maybe a rabbit hole. Not as bad as TikTok, but it will guide you to the next video that might give you more about the video you just watched. So in our video descriptions, you're going to find the following things: links to other videos that will, next in the series or whatever. There's links to our eBay store. There's items and links we use in our business, like the scanners and envelopes and stuff like that. We'll point you to eBay. It's an affiliate link. Now I also put in Postcard Club links. John from Popeye's Postcards sent those to me, and I put them in there, and I'm going to do a video and go through those and just show people what postcard clubs are about. But you can click on those, and it actually are really nice there. I think there's 3 links in there that takes you to a calendar of all the postcard shows around. And you'll be amazed at the postcard clubs. The postcard clubs, you want to join, you want to get involved. A lot of the members are passing away. The older members are getting out of it. And you can get some pretty good deals at those shows. Go to the quarter boxes. So, and you can talk to the people on there. But check our in there. We also have our email address, and our people have asked me about my mailing address, so I have a P.O. box. I put that in there. And also check out the comments. And there's some great information when I reply to people or they put their comments. It might be the same question that you have, and it's answered 3 or 4 different ways, or I answered it in there. And there's tips from others. I know Kelly put something in there about first day covers and stuff. So there's a lot of people building the community that you can ask a question, and some people will jump in and answer it too. So check them out on any videos you view from other creators. It'll point you in a direction, but that's what the video descriptions are about in the comments and YouTube. And if you have any comments, I see them right away. Usually when the videos go live in the first couple days, that's when I get most of the things I do. But I wanted to bring that up, that there is other resources for that. Go through the terminology. I try to put one in every video. It's very important so you can start talking like you know postcards. There's some terms that I come up with, and it's like, oh, is that what that's called? I'm learning from these just like everybody else. So the term I got today is airbrush. I'm not an artist, but I thought it was interesting that, because it had the word linen, about the linen cards in there. So let me go ahead and put it down here and read along with me on it. So, airbrush, a technique which colors have been painted using air compression. So it's one of those, either a machine or a little airbrush pushing paint out with air. Very popular with linen cards, where all undesirable elements have been airbrushed away while enhancing the scenic colors. So the chrome cards probably are not airbrushed, but your linen cards, they use the airbrush technique a lot because that type of paper made sure the ink dried a lot faster and it wouldn't run. But whenever you see, people talk about airbrush postcards, think of linen. That's what I think of, the blue. And things, they have templates on the bottom, they'll cover it, they'll put another template on, spray it, put another template on, spray it, or they have a machine do it. They probably have a machine do it on there. But airbrushing is one of the techniques. There's also hand painted, there's glitter, other things that I'll get into when I find the terms that people manufacturers use to enhance the postcards to get them to sell. When the salesman walked around with a sock card like this, he had some glitter on there, or he had he can talk about airbrush. He might be able to get an edge on the other person that came in earlier trying to sell postcards. So it was very competitive back then. During the golden age of postcards, there was billions of postcards, going out there. They were trying to get the edge. So airbrushing was a technique. Airbrush. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the cards from Etsy and Hip. I got 8 more cards on Etsy and 1 on Hip. And then I'm going to get into the viewer comments. Got some pretty neat ones today. So this next order on Etsy was for 8 cards in one order. And you're going to see the theme on this one is the Seminole Indians in Florida. So he went through my Etsy store and found all, out of 4,000 cards, found all the Seminole Indians. Maybe he did a search on Etsy and they popped up, but you can actually search the things. So all these cards are about the Indians or Everglades in Florida. This is Pei Key River of Grass in the Everglades. It's a chrome card, as you can see it glistens, unposted. It's on a thinner card stock, but that's one of the cards that sold for $4.45. The next one is Florida Indians with some art. Some people, when they printed it, they put that Indian, Florida Indian. So it's a family of the Native Americans. Pretty neat people. Posted in 1963, 4-cent stamp. It does have a flea market thing up there for 75 cents. But Seminole Indians in Florida, very proud people. So they did these for souvenirs to sell at their stands or the stores back then. Here's another one, and you'll see a lot of these little pop-outs like that on there, and that will help your store too if you get a good picture out there. Those colorful ones will go, but this one is Florida Indians, the Seminoles in their colorful costumes. The next one was pretty cool. They're making garments. So she's actually, if you look at it, she's actually using a sewing machine, an older sewing machine. Let's see if I can get it in there. On there, making colorful garments at their stands and stuff for them. But look at those beautiful blankets. Another card, $4 to $5. Now this was the visiting SIAX chief meets famous Mike Esclusa of the Florida Seminoles. So these are two high-ranking Indian chiefs or higher people in there, and they're meeting each other, and they took a picture of it and put it on a postcard, and it's sold. So that means something to somebody on there. But beautiful family. Sold between $4 and $5. The next one is Florida Seminole Indians, one of the great attractions of Florida. So here is more modern. And there was some the colorful garments that they wear, the thatch roofs. Just another souvenir card of the Seminole Indians in Florida. So when you see Seminole Indians, I think of Florida when they do that. And this is Seminole Dugout Indians. And these are some children playing in the dugout canoe in Florida. They're playing in the tree, Florida, on there. So that's the Seminole Indian dugout canoe, $4 to $5. And the last one out of the 8 that he bought was the Seminole Indians in a native thing. And this isn't a white border, it's a chrome card, as you can see it glisten on there. But there's the Indians in their native environment, unposted chrome card. So that's an order of 8 cards. Now on Etsy, they don't have eBay standard envelopes, so these will be packaged up as a first class package because it's going to be more than an envelope. I want to put in an envelope on there, so I'll go ahead and do that and just use Etsy label to send it out. Kind of works like eBay, but these cards were not all listed in one lot. They were spread out throughout the store over time because when I bought those Florida cards, I just kind of intermixed them. So I didn't put all Florida up one day. I didn't put all South Dakota up one day. eBay will send stuff to people, say new cards or whatever. So I like to have a mix of things going up every day. So if you're sorting your cards by South Dakota, North Carolina, stuff like that to do listings faster, that's fine. It works. But I add a little bit more to it. I like to have a mix of different things put in every day. So that's probably another reason I don't sort ahead of time, is I like to have that mix. Does it help? I don't know. Either way works. But it's just how you're wired, like I said. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you don't want to change the state every time and do it quicker and stuff like that. So the last card, one sold on HIP. Remember, 80% on eBay, 15% on Etsy, and 5% on HIP. Now, Etsy's creeping up. It's getting closer to like 18% now on Etsy, and eBay's going down a little bit, but HIP is staying the same, 5%. So Etsy's doing pretty good. It's starting to catch on. Maybe I'm doing something right there, but I just doing the same thing I've been doing for years, and it's just going. So HIP postcard, this is the harbor at Key West, Florida. And remember, I call these drawing cards. I don't know if it's an official term, but it just looks like somebody drew it. It's a touristy card on a lighter stock. Original lithographs drawings by Townsend Morgan, Key West, Florida. So someone, made these cards, had them printed up, and they sell them in stands down in Key West. So sold between $4 and $5. So that's 23 cards that I sold between eBay, Etsy, and HIP. That's over $100 cards in one day. That's a good day. Tomorrow I might sell 2 cards. Next day I sell 50 cards. You never know. But I'm not worried if I don't sell a lot of cards in 2-3 days, because it'll catch up for the month. And I look at the monthly run. I'm not worried about having I don't ride the roller coaster. I kind of ride the average. Because if you ride that roller coaster, what did I do for one day? You got to let things run. So when I make a change, even on YouTube here, when I make a change, I let it run for like 90 days, three months, a couple months to see if it turns the boat at all. And that's what you want to do in your store. If you're doing all the best practices, you got good photos, good keywords, good variety, good pricing, packing and shipping in one day, non-immediate payments, volume discounts, you're using the coupons or whatever. Just keep doing the same thing and see how it works. And then if it doesn't work, then you're going to have to make a change, but change little things. Postcards are saturated on eBay. You have to get that one extra thing that nobody else is doing. So when you're compared to others, your card goes up. So whatever you need to do to sell the cards. But I wouldn't worry if you don't sell a card in 1 or 2 days or something like that. When you first start out, it is a long grind. Don't compare yourselves to everybody else. Do your thing. Yeah, you want to look at your competition, but don't compare, because those are established people probably with trust. You got to get to that point, and it will take time. There's a learning process. You can't skirt it. You have to go through it. So you can speed it up, but you want, and by watching videos like this, I'm hoping will help people get through that learning curve faster. Then they level off and really start doing really well. So let's get into the viewer comments. I got 3 of them. So the first question I have some vintage postcards featured an unknown substance. It looks similar to fabric, but to touch, it's almost like foam. It is heavily embossed in that area. Can you teach us more about it, and also about leather postcards? So I did ask some questions to other postcard sellers, what they call those cards. Basically what those cards are is really heavily raised. Embossed means it's pushed up. It's like a dent in the card if you look from the back. Those are just the words that they use and the words I use, called heavily embossed. And that's what was in your question as well. There's really no foam in there, just heavily embossed. Another postcard seller said that he calls them high relief. So they're just more heavily embossed cards. I would definitely put that maybe in the title, heavily embossed. But you'll see that in a lot of the older cards, the birthday cards, holiday cards. And they are pretty cool, and some patriotic cards I've seen them as well. Does it really raise the price on them? I haven't seen that, but you never know. Go high, put best offer, and see what you get for for a little while. But that's what that is. It's just a heavily embossed card, or high relief card on there. Now, leather postcards, I have a video coming up on leather postcards. Leather postcards are not, to me, they don't sell as well or for the price people think. Now, there are some special ones out there that look like patches or like that, but I can go on eBay right now and probably buy probably pay $2 a piece for them on leather postcards. They're pretty prevalent out there, but they're, like always, they're condition, subject, and stuff like that will raise the price on them. But leather postcards were pretty prevalent. They also had aluminum postcards in the day that they would send through the mail. Those ones I like to find. And there's copper ones and stuff like that. But leather postcards, I don't actively look for them. I don't pay much for those if I do get them. I will list them if I do get them in the lots, or I do see them for a good price, just to have the variety. But I don't actively source for leather postcards. Next question. Do you have a green screen? Nope. Those fish are real. All this stuff behind me is real. All this is real. The problem is I can't use a green screen, because if I hold the postcard up here, that green right there would not show on a postcard. So I kind of ran into that problem thinking about it, because I'm not a video guy and stuff like that, so I never really think that. I'm starting to, but I can't use a green screen. Yeah, all the fish and stuff in here is real. This is my little desk I work on and stuff like that. I do have green screen material. If I wanted to, I could do it. Maybe one day I'd do something if I'm not holding up green postcards. Another question I get a lot is, what camera do you use? Now, I went and I looked at the cameras and stuff like that. I'm actually recording on a GoPro 9 with a media kit and the shotgun microphone. And it's standing on a Elgato stand pointed right over my 2 monitors. So when you see me look down, I'm actually looking at my screen as I go through the cards and the stuff like that. But it's pointed right at me. Now, a lot of people won't use GoPros for the YouTube videos. I do, because I found with other cameras, when I do this, when I put some up to the camera, the GoPro doesn't autofocus, and then it takes a second to go in. I like that. I've tried some other cameras, and when I do this, it just kind of blurs to the viewer, and it wasn't giving a good presentation. And the GoPro's been doing pretty good for what I do, but I'm not a real video guy on there. So, but I like technology. It's my background. So that's why I kind of get into this stuff. I am experimenting with some other stuff, but that's what I use. I use a GoPro 9 to record these videos because of that autofocus No green screen, because the cards have green in them, and you get what you get. That's what I got. Next question: how does your buying process change after you get a big haul, like that big naval postcard haul you got? If a similar deal came tomorrow, would you jump on it, or say no since you have multiple months of work in queue? By having more inventory, it does put a little anxiety on a person that, hey, that's money sitting there, but it also allows you to know that you can be selective in your next purchase. You don't need the inventory. So a lot of people think, oh my God, I got 300 items listed and I don't have any more stock. I only got 20 items to list. I need to run out, and then they pay a little bit more, or they're buying some bad buys. It can drive you to that. So by having the inventory on hand and being proactive about getting enough inventory, not talking about hoarding or anything like that, but you can be more selective, and negotiations are more on your side because you're not in a position where you need the inventory. I've gotten in positions where I needed inventory and I just bought it. I needed the inventory, but not with that. Now, if a similar deal came up today, oh, definitely, I would actually buy it. That would be just queued up longer, and I would jump all over it, even though I have the inventory. Now, I am not like have millions of postcards laying around or millions of toys and stuff. I do keep my stock going through. You can buy yourself out of business. So if you spend all your money in your stock and you don't have the time to get it up, you could have a lot of money sitting there. Some people have storage units just full of stuff. You know, they just amazed with their collection and say, I'm a reseller, but they got dead stock. They start losing track. It starts getting damaged. So you don't see that in a grocery store. They buy milk, they move it through. They buy a product, they move it through. If it doesn't sell, they send it back or they throw it away. They keep rotating their money. So you got to have your stock going through. Now, you are going to have some long tail items. That one postcard you know is worth $40 or $50, $60. You're going to get the last dollar. Go for it. You know, hold out, because you got other cards selling, but you got to have that cash flow going through. You got to have cash coming in to pay the bills to make it worth your time. And that's what those lower value cards will do, is keep that thing. Once you get a nice steady cash flow going through, then you can play around with the lower ones, the higher ones, and be selective. But never turn down a deal. Now, some people just starting out might not have the money to buy a bigger lot or when these deals come up. So one of the goals that I always recommend to new sellers is put a little money away for that one deal coming in. It might take you a year to get that slush fund up there. But if someone walked up today and they had a lot of good stock, good postcards, good toys or whatever, and say it was like $2,000, I can go out there and say, okay, here's your $2,000. Now, my fund just went way down. I'd have to build that back up before I go out and buy another 2,000 thing. I probably wouldn't buy another 2,000 thing for a while until I get my fund back up. But you want to be careful about it when you first start out. But you want to get the cash flow going. Find out what you need and how you're going to get there. Set some goals. Everybody does it differently. So, but a lot of people are successful. A lot of people that start reselling, what did I hear something the other day? About 75% of the people that start reselling will stop doing it in a year. I don't know where they got that number, but it sounds right. It is a lot of work. Postcard people, a lot of people do postcards. They'll do them for 3-4 months and then they just kind of die off. That's, I would say, 70-75% of the people, because they're not getting, it's a long game. So, not saying that was bad, they just moved on and found something better. It's whatever people want to do. That's all I got for today. Make sure you check the descriptions in the videos whenever you watch, and